How do we go about qualifying our tenants? I think that one of the primary duties of any property management firm is to do their due diligence in selecting and qualifying tenants for your home. I can't think of anything that's worse than having a tenant occupy your home that's one, not paying the rent, and two, is tearing the place up. We make every effort to do our due diligence to make sure that we select the best and most qualified tenant for your property. Let's talk about our application process. What do we require? Well, first, all of our applications are done online, and the following will be required at the time of that application. I want to see a picture ID, a driver's license. I want proof of their social security number. It's important that we know that they are who they say they are, and two, that they are here legally. Want to see proof of income. If they're military, I want to see their LES statements. If they're employed here, we want to see copies of their pay stubs. If they're moving into the area to take on a new job, I'd like to see an offer letter from their employer stating what their income is projected to be and if they're on any kind of probationary period. Want the current landlord's and previous landlord's name, address, and contact information. Okay, now that we've acquired all of this information, how are we going to use it to screen the tenant? Well, first we're going to run a credit report. Credit reports are great in letting us know if the tenant tends to pay their bills on time, which shows responsibility, and two, it'll give us an idea of what their total debt load is. We're going to look at their debt to income ratio. The ratio should be 2.5 to 1. They should make 2.5 times what their rent is. The only time that this can become skewed is if we look and we see that they've got a real high debt load because they bought, new cars and boats and motorcycles and planes and other toys. We're going to talk to their employers. We want to know who their supervisor is. We want to verify the income. We want the name and the address. We also want, if we can, talk to a supervisor and see if they're a dependable employee and if they tend to have some longevity there. Court records. Court records are really important. Credit reports don't always let you know about criminal and civil judgments that are against the tenant. We take all 7 cities of the Hampton Roads areas and we run the tenant's name through the civil and criminal database. We ask the tenants when they fill out the application if they've ever had a bankruptcy, if they've ever been evicted, or if they have open judgments for non-payment of rent. And if they say no, and the court records reveal that yes, they have been evicted and they do have open judgments, that would be a reason to terminate them on the spot. Residence verification. The reason that we wanted the current and the previous landlord's name and contact information is sometimes the current landlord will give them a favorable recommendation because maybe he wants to just get rid of them. And the other thing is that he might be afraid that they're going to come back on him for making a negative remark. However, the previous landlord will most likely always give us an honest recommendation as to if they're a good tenant or not. The other thing that we want to verify is we want to verify the dates of residency. Are there any gaps between the time that they lived one place and lived the next, which sometimes can indicate that they actually rented something else and been evicted and are just not reporting it. Are we going to accept or reject the tenant applicant? Well, it's important to remember that we work for our clients, and hopefully you're going to be one of them. After we complete the application process, we're going to review the information with you, give you our final recommendation, and ask for your blessing. I do have to remind you, hopefully I don't have to remind you, that as your agent we are bound to follow the state guidelines on fair housing. An owner who wants us to discriminate against any protected class is going to have to lose us immediately as a property manager. We can lose our business license to operate, we can lose our realtor licenses or our broker licenses, and we can be up for some civil penalties for discrimination, as can you, the owner. If you have more questions about our application process, I hope you'll give me a call. I'm looking forward to an opportunity to do some business with you, and here's my contact information. You can reach me at 757-237-6786. If the line's busy or you can't get a hold of me there, leave me a text message. I'll get back to you in short order. Or just send me an email. I'll be happy to talk to you then. I am a licensed broker in Virginia, and this concludes our short video on how the application process works. Thanks so much for listening.